Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that likes to wrestle. My name is Cody. Say, do you like the Silver East? Of course not. Let's Gold West from Tasty Minstrel Games. In Gold West from Tasty Minstrel Games, 2 to 4 players are essentially going to compete to earn the most points as grizzled mining prospectors. Yee-haw! Anyway, what's going to happen here is you've got a map of the mining area that's made up of these different kind of tiles, and that's very interesting. In the middle is going to be kind of some water, and each of the tiles are going to have kind of mining spaces, tokens, which are face down. But the ones around the river will have face up. These are places where you can start from. And there are 5 different resources in this game. There's wood, copper, silver, gold, and stone. Wood and stone are going to be important for building camps, but gold, silver, and copper, they're going to let you do some other fun and interesting things. Now, each player also has kind of a player board, and it's got these 4 different sections from 3 to 0 on the left side. You've also got places where you're going to put some of the tokens you take off the board. But there's kind of a Nakala thing here where what you do is if you place resources in a certain box, you move those resources up, but you have to leave one behind in each of the boxes before it. So as you're moving the resources up, you're getting fewer and fewer of them, and then the ones you finally are able to get off of the board, you can use that turn. Now, as I say, you want to have a stone or a wood because that allows you to build a camp. So if you build the camp, you can then essentially flip over another tile, put it on your board, and then put your camp down there on the tiles to indicate that you control it. Then you're going to flip over all the tokens around it to show that those are places that you can then build on as well. Now, if you can't build a camp, what you have to do is loot, meaning you essentially can go ahead, claim one of the tokens around it anyway, and you can get the resources, but you don't get to put a camp down, and you essentially lose a point. You put one of your tokens into one of these kinds of negative point sections on the board. Now, you can also build a settlement, which will give you some more advantages, but that costs a wood and a stone. Now, also with the gold, copper, and silver, there's different things you can do. There are investment cards. Now, these are special cards off the side of the board, and they have, if you spend so many of the resources on these cards, you get some instant point bonuses. So these things are very important to, you want to kind of collect these because they can really cash in, they can really pay out as you're trying to move up that scoreboard. There is also shipping, and shipping is pretty cool because what you can do there is you can, if you've got a gold, a silver, or a copper, you can move a stagecoach along a track toward more points. And as you move it toward a point, the top point disappears, you can move on to the second one, and there's layers of points there, and then a distance of points, and it's a race to get those, and that's good because sometimes you're just going to end up with odd little resources you can't use otherwise, so that can let you bleed those off. But one of the most important things you're going to do with these resources is there's kind of a grid called Boomtown, and it may say, gold here, copper here, and you arrange this thing randomly before the game with different tiles so that it's always different. But if you put a gold here and a copper there, they intersect, that's a spot where you can put a marker on and you get that specific advantage. And it's going to be things like maybe you can score all of your camps near the borders or all your camps near the river. There's all sorts of fun and different scoring mechanisms and advantages. It may let you repeat what somebody else did or things like that are going to come into it that are going to let you exploit Boomtown for more points. Now, so essentially you're doing this. You're all going around, moving your resources up your board. You're taking the tokens, which you put your camp down, and putting it on your board. You're collecting the resources. You're putting them back on the board where they can move up later. And you're building things. You're investing in the investment cards. You're investing in Boomtown, or you're investing in shipping with those resources. And in all these different mechanisms, you're trying to get the most points. You keep doing this until all players have placed their camps. Once the last player has placed his last camp, you do one final turn, and then you go to scoring. Now, scoring is interesting because, of course, you're going to add up the score from all your investment cards if you haven't already placed that on the board. You're going to look at shipping if you haven't already factored those in. But critically, you're going to be looking at Boomtown. You're going to see if any special bonuses kick in because of Boomtown. Whoever has the highest score at the end of the game wins. Now, that is, as I say, just a very brief overview of Gold West. There's a lot more going on here. It's a game that has it's not terribly hard to learn, but there is some real strategy and some real complexity in a lot of these things that will pop up in the ways you can score points. So there's a lot more to it than that. That's just a very brief overview of the game. Now, this is a Euro. This is a Euro game, and if you've seen the show, if you're familiar with the show, I'm not a huge Euro game fan. There's a few I like, But just on the whole, if I'm going to play an Ameritrash or a Euro, I'd rather play Ameritrash. That's just the kind of gamer I am. But I do like some Euro games. I've played a few that I really enjoyed quite a bit. Going into Gold West, quite frankly, I wasn't that excited about it. It didn't look like it was something that was going to spark my imagination. One of the reasons, too, is, the theme is your grizzled prospectors, biscuits and gravy. But the reality is there's not a lot of thematic material here. The game is not terribly thematic. It's your gold miners, but you could easily be, space pirates or, politicians. I don't know. Pick your theme. It's a very light theme. And again, I'm somebody that loves theme. I love theme in my games. Now, with all that said, despite these things, I enjoyed Gold West. I thought it was a fun game. I think it's a smart game. I think it's a clever game. And it's, again, it doesn't have too long a running time, 45 minutes to an hour, roughly. So it doesn't wear out its welcome. It's a solid Euro with a lot of complexity, a lot of strategy for the points you're going for. And the big thing I love about this game is the choices it makes when you collect your resources. In which box do you place them? Because you've got to place them in certain orders, but you've got to be dropping some off. You always want to make sure you try to get a wood or a stone coming out so you can build a camp every turn, because if you don't, you're going to lose points. There's all sorts of fun things like this. In the game, you see us playing there in the video, it came down to the wire. I was behind the whole game. And then I nearly won. I actually came in a close second. So depending on if you're playing the long game or the short-term game, you're going to make some real fun choices, hard choices, tough choices, but they may pay off in the long run. And I like games that can do that. And this one handles that very well. I like Gold West. I think it's a fun game. I think if you like Euros, you'll like it too. So the recommendation for the discriminating gamer for Gold West is buy it. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. We are The Discriminating Gamer, and I will just say it one more time. Biscuits and gravy!
Please somebody help me on my feet again. And I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I've been dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
Hi there, I'm Sean Running. Doodly-doodly-doo-doo-doo. I'm so talented. I mock other people with my clever words and lyrics. Yeah! And turn from acoustic to electric. I don't play guitar.